Right, Coach Franklin from a Gilbert Fighting System, and Coach Jay from the Gilbert Fighting System too, and my good friend from Sonoras,
Mexico.
Oscar Martinez. He is the owner of CFC. How you doing?
Outstanding. Outstanding.
How's your shoulder doing?
Not standing.
What'd you do?
It's good. It's good. I mean,
What'd you do to your shoulder?
we were grappling and some guy just rolled over it, put his knee on it, rolled over it again. And I was like, that was that.
He's your enemy? What?
No,
Not
he's
your friend?
He's
Why
a
you put his
he's
knee
a
on your
new
shoulder?
kid. He's a new kid. That's what it is, a new kid.
What'd you do to fix it?
I came and got stem cell shots
From who?
and ozone shots from the place next door. What's it called? Stem Cell Sports Institute. That's what it is. Stem Cell Sports Institute in Fontana, California.
Yeah, I killed work a lot of this guy yesterday. He cheated the ozone shot like 20, maybe more. He was crying and everything. It broke my heart.
Yeah, it broke his hand. Yeah, it kind of broke his heart, kind of like when he dropped me today on the mats, and he did just like that. Yup. So,
No, never.
Why'd you fall?
he was kicking me.
You're not supposed to fall.
Hey, he ain't supposed to kick me that hard. He caught me with the. It was mostly in the body. Like, I don't mind getting hit in the face. I can take a punch. Those knees were, and I could tell he wasn't throwing them full speed, but they were still coming. I mean, if you drive your car at 10 miles an hour and you hit a wall, you still get a dent.
Oscar, tell us about your gym in Sonora.
Okay, well, my gym's it's new. We're a young gym. It's opened up in September, August of last year. Opened up August of last year. We probably got about 120 people on our computer system that come there, but we teach free for all the kids.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so we offer them free conditioning, free fundamentals of boxing. And my goal was to get kids off the street when they came home from school. Because I remember when I was a kid, my mom worked all day long, and from 3 o'clock till 9 o'clock, she was working. So we were home by ourselves, running the streets. I grew up in Stockton.
Whew.
Yeah, selling drugs at 12 years old. Literally, I remember my mom pulling up to me, Oscar, ¿dónde estabas? Vete para la casa, güey. I remember that. So, I mean, it's different where I live now in Sonora. I think kids don't have the opportunities that other kids have, to be honest. And it's not because they don't have the money, it's because they don't have the facilities, And then you have the ones who don't have the money. So I try not to separate people by financial status,
That's great.
Try to give everybody, no matter how much money you got, that opportunity to come and train. And then we also offer, paid classes. Like our kids jiu-jitsu class, we charge $40 a month. Yeah.
Nice.
Our adults, we charge $100 unlimited. So if you want to work out, you want to get in shape, you want to get beat up, whatever you want. You can do it for $100 a month.
In the beautiful city of
Sonora, California.
Nice. Yeah, your gym's nice though. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Had a good feel. I like the cage setup, your bag setup, the wall splitting the mat side from your weighted area. That was real cool.
Yeah, no, I've trained at a lot of places. Obviously, I've been here a few times already. So I get a glimpse of other people's gyms. Like when we went to Joe Stevenson's gym, I was impressed by their grappling, their little grappling area.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of like your guys', except they have more cage panels surrounding it. And I like that. I like the cage all the way around the place. I like that. So last night, as soon as I got back to my room, that's the first thing I did. I started researching mats and cage panels and stuff. And I like improving every time I go somewhere. And here, I've already learned a lot, and I'm sure we're going to be learning more with all the shirts and the podcast stuff and all that. So I enjoy my trips down here.
That's
I
great.
really do.
Now the CFC is not just a gym. What do you guys do there?
Right? No. CFC, what it is it's a California Fighting Championship,
Okay.
and we host pro-am shows. We've done just amateur shows, but we are more on a Indian reservation land. We do not like dealing with CSAC. They've always been a headache, and I know they're trying their best to protect everybody and everything, but sometimes it becomes just about money for them. In my opinion, it's just an opinion. So, and to me, I mean, I understand everybody's got to make a living, everybody's got to support themselves and everything, but when you have an organization like CSAC that dictates everything you do and then charges you for it, to me, that's a problem. They tell you who you can fight, who you can't fight. And just like this guy I'm fighting next, he's got 13, 14 fights. But CSAC has him as 0-0. And that's not true.
Why did they have him 0-0?
I don't know. I have no clue. But I've got 13 or 14 of his fights on my phone
Was
right
it
now.
CSAC or like the platforms that
Well, no, it's
that
like you said.
post their records, like SureDog or Tapology? Maybe they didn't get the.
Well, it's the platform, so yeah. But the thing is, CSAC doesn't. They take the time to tell you no, he can't fight, or you can't fight him, or whatever. But they don't take the time to look into what you tell them. Like I have 13 videos on my phone right now of this guy, and
Are they street beef fights or what?
no. Well, one of them was no. One of them was
that other one, felony fights.
no. I remember.
Do you remember that? Do you remember those ones?
Yeah.
Street beef. I know they're a backyard brawl fight kind of thing, and yeah, he's got one of those. He does have one of those. He's fought for Pure Combat. He's fought for 209 Beatdown. He's fought. Where else have I seen him? Because I've watched 3 of his fights. So, I know he fights. And, but it is what it is. That's my problem with CSAC. They go off the platforms. So if they're going off the platforms, they should ensure that platforms are accurate. Because I remember in 2011 when I went to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts, they go off a SureDog. So, and they tell you that though before you show up. So I had to go. I called SureDog up and I called Tapology, made sure my record was straight back then because it was messed. There's so many Oscar Martinez's in the world that none that are Oscar Superman Martinez's. But no, there's so many Oscar Martinez out there that I understand the platforms getting their shows mixed up. You gotta look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like that.
One of the things about records and everything is that, like you say, there is fights in Indian reservations. Then sometimes they flag those events. I know because.
Hey, well, you're the first one that pops up.
But
Now.
That's great.
Now, but 10 years ago, I wouldn't. In 2011, I was 3-2.
I have a fighter here. His name is Mike Sanders, and one day I call. I think I called you like Cherdog, and I say, "Hey, this guy have like 5 fights in the East Coast, losses. Then we have never, even participated in that event." And I say, "Oh, and then you want to keep the win, but you don't want to keep the losses."
Yeah.
Well, and we don't even know who this other Mike Sanders is, but they put in his record. And there are some wins that we have here in California, where he fought Harold Lucambio. He beat the King of the Cage champion from Anthony McKee, and they never put that one in the record. But I don't think that is CSAC is more.
Yeah, I think it's the promoter's fault.
Yeah, no, and
The promotion's fault.
I understand that 100%. The thing is, if I drive my car, I love using analogies. If I drive my car, it's my job to see that there's fuel in the car. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Ford's job to make sure that there's
fuel
in my car, you know? And so that's what I'm saying. If you're going to use the platform, either hold them to a standard or verify their work, because that platform dictates people's lives in a sense. Because let's say you and me are fighting, just throw it out there. You know, I don't want to get my ass whooped right now, but let's say you and me are fighting, right? And they have me down as, say, 13-6. That's my actual record, 13-6. And you probably have just as many fights that I do, if not more. But they probably have you down as they're 5-4. They're not going to allow us to fight.
No?
No. And then, but you've got more experience than they know you have, so you should be able to fight me and beat me or whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? But instead, they're going to say, oh no, he's got to fight this guy. Which it makes you kind of look like you're sandbagging, but you're really not, because it's not your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll enjoy an easy fight just as much as I'll enjoy a hard fight. I'm not going to lie. You give me a chump, I'll fight a chump. You give me a champ, I'll fight a champ. Whoever you put in front of me, I'll fight him. But, I mean, at my age, 51, I'm lucky that the promoters know how old I am, and they don't try to kill me every time.
CSAC wouldn't even let you fight now.
No,
CSAC won't even let me fight.
Yeah.
And that's kind of BS too right there. Because I'm just as capable as fighting as any 30-year-old or 20-year-old, or, you know, I may not be as fast as them, but, I mean, I've got 20-some fights.
Yeah.
So I should be able to fight whoever I want, you know? And I understand maybe fighting a guy that's 0-0 ain't the best thing, but what's there to say he's not the next person that's going 17-0?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's great. I didn't know they stopped fights or
Yeah.
let them happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I don't like. I mean, let's say I want to fight Franklin here, you know, and they're like, "Fuck, you don't need to be fighting Franklin. Franklin will kill you." Okay, but that's my choice to challenge myself.
Yeah.
You know, if I signed that contract to fight, that's me being a man. Why are you trying to take that away from me?
Yeah, in a way, it's dangerous because, you know, they are trying to protect you, but there is some 50-year-olds out there that they can't freaking hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is. You can't just go by age because
let's just use you for instance. You know what you're doing. You're strong as hell. You got power. You got speed. So you could probably fight any 35-year-old guy out there, any 29, 30, 28-year-old guy. I mean, you'd probably even be dropping 19-year-old guys. You know, so I believe that if you meet the physical requirements to fight, you should be able to fight. Because they're taking away your dreams. They're taking away your life. A lot of people don't start living nowadays till they get to be our age.
That's true.
You know, and I mean, because now we're done with all that stress of having to work every single day like a dog. You know, we're past that in our lives. So now we can devote time to training. We can devote time to eating right, to traveling out here. You know, we can devote that kind of time. If we want to test our skills against a top level opponent and they accept a fight, we should be able to. I understand we're older.
No, that's kind of true. Like, you know, because, you know, when you're younger, dude, you don't even know what you want to be.
No.
You know, you don't even know who you want to be. Now you hear dudes, 40-year-old men's like, I don't know who I am. You got a kid, you got a family, a house, cars. You don't know who you are, dude? Come on.
That's all you've done your whole life.
I mean, you're always growing, of course, but I mean.
Yeah, no, that's what you've done.
I feel you.
When you turn 16, 17, you start working. I started at 12, but most people don't.
I started at like 5.
Damn. But you were selling chiclets in Tijuana.
Oh, shit.
When you get to be 16, 17, you go to work. And your main concern is making enough money to pay your bills, have a good time, buy that nice fancy car with the rims that everybody's got. You know, that's your concern at that point. Yeah, you go train and stuff like that, you know, and you go fight here and there and you're young, energetic, but you're limited to the time you can train unless you come from money.
Yeah.
Once you get to be our age, even if you don't have money, your time frees up because your priorities in life have changed. Now, I'm all about making my kids happy, all about living with my daughters, you know, all about seeing them progress. letting them do part of my family business. My 18-year-old lives with me and she's going to college, so to me, my life has taken a different shift. It's not about what Oscar needs to do or what Oscar has to do to survive anymore, because now I got a decent career. I make money to where I can say, I'm going to pay my bills today. I used to be that person that I had to call the bank on my way to the store to see how much money I could spend at the store. I came from no money. My mom worked her butt off the whole time. She worked 2 jobs. I remember her leaving the house at 6 a.m. to go work at a restaurant, Mi Ranchito Cafe in Stockton, and she'd come home at night when it was dark. My stepdad, the first one she married, was a piece of crap. He used to beat on her, beat on us, He wasn't, but now I'm at a point in my life where I don't worry about all that. I just make sure my kids don't have to go through that.
When did you start fighting?
2005. Yeah, I was 31 years old. I had just gotten out of jail for multiple DUIs. I was an alcoholic when I left the Marine Corps. Bad.
Multiple
DUIs. When I left the Marine Corps, it was a rough change for me. I needed the Marine Corps to build me, to develop who I was going to become. But they might have overdone it a little bit. Because when I got out, I didn't know how to cope with anything. Life was just hard. I didn't have any money. My ex-wife had cheated on me. Yeah, every time I went overseas, my ex-wife cheated on me. Every time. I was like, oh, my husband's leaving. He'll be gone at 3 p.m. And they were probably knocking at 3:01.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. It's like, it wasn't a good situation for a kid. I was 19, 20 years old back when I joined the Marine Corps. 19. I got out when I was 23. So 24. I was 24. And between the time I was 24 and 26, I had already gotten 3 DUIs. Yeah. So
right out.
Huh?
So right out of the Marine Corps, you were
right out of the Marine Corps.
DUIs.
As a matter of fact, I left the Marine Corps because I had a drinking incident. I was waiting for my re-enlistment package. We got in a fight out in town, a bad fight. Guns were pulled. I pulled mine out too as well. And and I got arrested. This happened a Friday night about 11:45 at night. But I had a first sergeant who back then was looking out for me, even though I didn't think. I hated him until I realized what he did for me. When you're in the Marine Corps and you go to jail, even if you bail out, they don't send you home. The Marines pick you up, or at least they did me. So the Marine Corps, the MPs picked me up and took me to the brig. Then I was there for 3 days, and my first sergeant had a meeting with me and our gunnery sergeant. And he said, we're gonna do something for you that you don't even deserve. He said, you giving the Marine Corps a bad name, all this and all that. He said, but we're gonna sign your paperwork from 16:30 on Friday. So technically speaking, when all this happened, I was out of the Marine Corps by paperwork. In reality, if it wasn't for my first sergeant, I would have lost. My life would have been 10 times harder than it is now, because I've gone to college with my VA. I bought a house with my VA. I'm 70% disabled, and the VA pays me. So, and at first I was like telling my first sergeant, I remember leaving there, screw him, different words, screw him, I can't believe he did this to me, blah, 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 because I was waiting for a re-enlistment package. I was ready to sign. But the older I got in life, and just recently within the last 5-6 years, I realized if he hadn't done that for me,
wow.
One, I'd have been discharged from the Marine Corps, which that's my passion, that's my life. The Marine Corps was my pride and joy. But
maybe he saw it, and that's why he did it that way.
Maybe.
Right?
No, maybe.
Because he saw,
yeah,
hey, he's just making dumb mistakes, and it's probably better to just...
Yeah, no, and I've never seen him again, and I wish I could, but I've never seen him. I don't know whatever happened to him. Like I said, I was mad for 15 years.
You should try to look for him, dude.
Yeah, no, that probably would be awesome just to
Mhm.
see him face to face
Yeah.
and show him that I did make something of myself.
Now, you talk about your business and everything. You have another business other than.
Yes, yeah, I own Oscar Martinez bail bonds, and we go through everywhere. I mean, I push myself in everything I do. So my business, I've bailed people out of Florida, Washington, Michigan, California, Central, Northern, Southern. I don't
Wow.
care. I mean, and just like I said, I try to make everything the best out of everything. I always want to be in the top of whatever I do.
That's great.
Now, I don't always make it there, but I never fall short from trying.
Yeah, and at least you end up with something good,
Yeah.
versus.
Yes. No, you guys been to my house. I mean, I don't live like a millionaire or anything. Well, because I'm not. I'm a thousandaire. But no, I buy what I
I
want.
don't know. There's a lot of toys there. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I buy what I want and I do what I want. And right now, I mean, I'm going through a divorce again. So it's kind of rough. But other than that, it's just my life's good.
It's good.
As long as I have my kids, I don't need anything else. So,
That's great, dude. That's
That's-
really, really good.
yeah.
When's your fight show, and do you have people help you? Like, who's your staff? Do you have? Is it your gym? Is it family? Is it
Our
friends?
show is January 14th, and it's going to be in Tuolumne, California. It's a Black Oak Casino. It's going to be a pro-am show. We're looking at having 7 amateurs, maybe 8 amateur fights, and 5 or 6 pro fights. As far as people who work with me, my brother Pablo, you know Pablo.
I love Pablo.
Pablo the best.
Pablo. Vacation? Does he live there?
Huh?
Does he live there too?
No, he's in Uruguay right now. He's on, I don't know if he's on vacation or working, but he's bought a couple of houses there. He's done well for himself, and he's out there getting them remodeled because he's going to use them as Airbnbs. So he's got a great business
That's
mind.
good.
His wife, Gracie, she does most of the clerical stuff and everything like that. She makes all the phone calls we need made.
For your fighting, for CFC?
For the CFC fighting championship. Then we have local people from the gym who help out a lot. And they'll be running booths and things like that during the show. Hoping to get with you to do our postering, our advertisement, some of that stuff, come to you guys for that. But we're trying to get fighters from all California. I want to go north versus south just for a show. But it's actually our 6th show.
Get ready, NorCal.
Yeah,
We're
north,
coming
south,
for you.
it's coming.
The wave's coming for you.
There you go. So, no, that's what my goal is, to do that. We have Danny from you guys, Martinez. He's going to be fighting Chris Chavez.
That's great.
Both of them, and I'm not going to lie, both of them are friends of mine. I just think it'd be a great fight for both of them. Chris he's training with a different gym now, and that's fine. You each go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But he's a good kid. Danny's a good kid. I mean, I've seen both of them fight many times, so I know that they'll both go out there and do the best they can.
Main event.
Main event might be me. Might be. It ain't gonna be you.
Dang it.
But we'll get you on the next one. Yeah, main event might be me if we can find an opponent at 205.
I'm there now.
That's right. Yeah,
That
but
would be great.
I'm gonna call CSAC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no.
I'll change my name. They won't find me.
There you go. No, but I'm hoping to be the main event because, and I'm explaining why. It's my last fight ever.
It's your last retirement
My
fight?
Dude,
last
I hear
retirement.
that so
Your
many
last
times.
retirement,
Yes,
dude.
But-
You've retired so many times. I'm not going to any more of your retirement
Yeah, no.
fights.
Yeah, nobody
Any
shows
more
up
of
to my
your
retirement parties.
None of that, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm hurt. My body's hurt. Everything about this fight camp has gone wrong. Even coming up here, I mean, everything wrong happened on the way here. So
But that's fighting. Like,
no, it
fighting
is
is never easy. Like, sometimes you got to fight just to, there's people who fight just to get to the gym
right.
because of whatever, financial situations or relationship status stuff. Other people, it's health, For
Right.
us, sometimes it's our bodies just beat up.
Yes, and that's what it is. I mean,
Years of abusing it.
I've been doing it since 2005. That's 20 years of getting punched in
Fighting
the
or
mouth.
training?
fighting. My first fight was 2006.
When did you start training?
2005.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
November.
November. I started October.
October.
Yeah, that's when I started October. Yeah, so I started training in 2005, and I've been getting beat up. I've been brought in to lose, literally, like almost every fight I've been in, except till recently, when people see my value and see that I sell tickets. They're like, oh shit, Oscar sells tickets. So now it's more like, we want to keep Oscar around. We don't want to hurt him. So, but like I said, to me, honestly, I'll tell you, I'll fight. I won't be happy about fighting anybody, but I will. Once I get there.
Yeah, after.
Once I get there, I'm not turning around. It's just not going to happen. To me, it's like win or lose. I gained more respect when I lost to Ryan Williams than any fight I've ever won. Yeah.
Why? Was it a good fight? Or?
He was so much bigger than me, and we were both bloody.
Nice.
Bloody. He cracked me with 3 knees to the face. That's what ended the fight. I caught him with a solid left hook. It broke his nose. Now we're friends. Now he trains at my gym. He runs some of my jiu-jitsu classes.
That's cool.
So yeah. And we fought in 2017, but he was bigger than me. He's still a lot bigger than me. But we fought. We got there to weigh-ins. My opponent didn't show up. They brought Ryan in. Well, actually, they brought Ryan in 2 days before because we knew my opponent wasn't showing up. He took the fight. I thought he was coming off the couch. So I was like, yeah. And no, that fool had been getting ready for a championship fight, for a belt fight. And he for a heavyweight. And we were trying to fight I was at 201. That's the last time I made 201. And he came in heavy.
Good.
Yeah, but it's all right. I took the fight, like I said. When we're there face to face, I'm not going to let no man scare me.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, and you go in there and you give it all you got, and you just hope that your training was good enough to fight anybody, which it should have been.
Everybody bleeds. Right?
Yeah,
Everybody bleeds.
Oh yeah, no, but that taught me a lot. That taught me that I can get punched in the mouth, I can bleed, I can get thrown around, and I can still get up and keep going. A lot of people think about that. Oh, what am I gonna do when I get hit? Nothing. You're gonna keep going.
Hit them back.
You're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep pushing. So to me, I appreciate Ryan for that. He gave me that respect for myself, because he wasn't my size. He wasn't my weight. He was bigger. I believe he knew just as much as I did, if not more. And I was able to hit him. I was able to break his nose. I was able to stay competitive with him until he caught me with 3 knees to the face. Then I just went competitive with nobody.
Competitive with your pillow.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. I've never been knocked out, and I've never been submitted in a fight. So yeah, I've finished 4 or 5 fights with submissions. I've never knocked anybody out. I've got a bunch of TKO wins. So to me, like I told you earlier, I don't mind getting punched in the. But when you start kneeing me like you did, that was not good.
Oh, you got PTSD then, huh?
Now I do.
No, yeah.
No, he was walking by. Yeah.
That's funny. Who have you trained with? Like, where did you start? And what's like
the first person that got me started training with was Edua Foster. He was the IFC Native American champion. He worked at Black Oak Casino and got me training. Then I trained with, for a brief period of time, with Tom Theonopoulos out of Oakdale MMA. Then, during the same time, I went and trained with Team Voodoo, Gene Fields. But that was very, very brief. Maybe a month, maybe. Then I trained with Nick and Nate Diaz in Stockton off of Flora Street. It was Phil Torres' place. I was there for about 8-9 months. Then from there, we opened up a gym in Sonora, which kind of Tom Theonopoulos went behind my back, literally behind my back, talked to my partners, and they worked out a deal to where I showed up to the gym one day and they had sold out to him. Yeah, literally, that's how it happened. So Tom and I had a falling out for a while. We kind of made up since then. Then I trained, they offered me a fight with James Franchier. He was the Gladiator champ. I was 0-2. So,
I ref his first fight,
oh really?
1999.
Oh wow.
Wasn't he king of the cage yet?
Yeah, King
Yeah.
of the Cage.
And
Yeah, Calusa Casino. it
in
was.
Calusa, yep. I went to train at Sencal Extreme Fitness. No, Sencal Combat. And that was with Moses Cortez. Trained with Steve Heath, Isaac De Jesus, Tim McKenzie, who's a very good friend of mine now. And there was a bunch of other guys. And I'm Matt Freeman. I'm not trying to forget their names. It's just a long time. So from there, I lost my second fight to Zach Trammell. And then that's when I started training on my own in Sonora with Felipe Martinez, a badass boxing coach out of Stockton. Then every fight camp I leave for a month. First one was Vanderlei Silva. I went to his gym, was there for a month. For my other fight, I went over to Extreme Couture. Then I've gone to the lab in Arizona with Ben Smooth Henderson. Then I went to New Mexico. I've trained in Santa Fe, and I've trained some little town. I can't remember the name of it. With Gracie Baja. That's when I was first introduced to Gracie Baja Jiu-Jitsu. Then I've trained at the arena back when Ernesto Martinez was there, before he got stupid and did that. I don't know if you know his story, but and I think War Machine was there too at that point. But the Cyborgs were there. He's a cool cat, man. That guy's awesome. He knows his Muay Thai like no other.
Cyborg?
Yeah, Cyborg. Then I've trained at Uriah Favor's place for about 6 months. I've never, for some reason, I live in the sticks. So to me, driving and working every day was hard. So I couldn't make that full commitment to being in one certain place for 2 or 3 years or anything like that. So after a while, problems would arise with my transportation or something. Like you said, some people struggle just to train. So I've ended up bouncing around. I mean,
do you feel like that kind of maybe crippled you or made you better?
both.
Both?
It crippled me because I didn't have a home. And that's most fighters, even though everybody goes into the cage alone, they're never alone.
Yeah.
It's the family that you build in the gym. It's what makes really dictates whether you win or lose.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? It's really a team to get you there,
It is.
and it's just you by yourself.
No. Well, it's not even you by yourself because you're in there, but they're pulling the strings if you're listening. If you're listening, they see things you don't. And then when you come into that corner for that in between rounds, I don't know if you ever made it out of the first round. I've had a few times, and that corner, what they tell you, how they tell you, how they react to whatever situations you were in that prior round, that means a lot. You only have 1 minute to get it in there. Hey man, next time he comes up, he does this, take a step back. He's coming with this, and just like today, you said, oh, every time you take your leg up, you set it down, you just plant it, and you kick me. So no, and it does. It does. Everybody in that place is 100% part of the family. But when I go by myself and training everywhere else, I know all sorts of different styles. Even coming here, I see chokes that I've never seen before. Jason Von Flew, he's got the Von Flew choke, and he's a good friend of mine. So just training with different people, you see things that most people don't. Right now, we have, you guys know Michael Mayday McDonald, UFC veteran, and his brother Justin Smithley. They've been at the same gym since 2005, and they just literally now went on their own. I think Justin is one of the best fighters I've ever met in my life, bottom line. I think he is one of the best fighters ever that got shortchanged on his career because of the fights he took early, because he never cross-trained. He only saw one system, which that's good, but I think sometimes you have to incorporate other systems in it just to make you a better fighter. Don't get me wrong, there's fighters who've been with one gym and they're champions, and they'll probably argue with what I'm saying. This is my personal
Well, yeah,
opinion.
I think when it comes to systems, obviously you get more sophisticated systems than others, you know, because like if you went to, I don't know, just any gym and started doing mixed martial arts or kickboxing or boxing compared to someone who's ran the ranks and had good coaching coming up and developed their own system, you wouldn't have to go to, you know, 3 boxing coaches, or a boxing coach and an MMA coach and a kickboxing coach and a wrestling coach. Because if your coach has already done that, he'll have that system in place for you.
Right.
You know, so that's a yes and no, right? Because if you go to a system where it's boxing dominant and you're in an MMA fight, it's not going to help you that much,
Right.
right? But if you go where it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, and wrestling, you're going to be pretty.
You know, you'll be rounded. You'll know your stuff. And what I'm saying is, you have a different system than another gym, I'm sure.
Mhm.
You've developed your own system to where you are very proficient at what you do. Sometimes a different coach that, I mean, I don't want to throw names out there at gyms, but you have some coaches who really don't know what they're doing. Bottom line. And people don't know the difference because they haven't experimented or experienced or gone anywhere.
That is a good point, because there's people that have an academy than they should. Because I had a kid that came to the gym probably, I don't know, 8 months ago, 9 months ago. And he told me that he was training with a guy that I trained. He said, where? He said, oh, in his garage. Then he mentioned the name of the guy, and I said, I don't remember the guy. He showed me a picture. I'm telling you, somebody showed me a picture of Jay. I know who Jay is. And I look at the picture. I say,
I saw a skinny picture of Jay downstairs. I'm like, who's that?
Dude, and I look at the picture of the guy, and I never seen the guy. And this guy is telling people that he is part of us, and the kid was training with him for about a year. And it's
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
this kid was.
and I bet you that kid thought he was getting the best training there
That's
was. You know, because there's some
You
coaches.
don't know different.
You don't know different.
Exactly.
There's some coaches who shouldn't be coaches. And I'll be the first one to tell you that. You know,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy, dude. Because we I have a lot of friends. Then, you know, if like you went to the gym just Joe Stevenson. Joe sometimes call me, hey, coach, send a couple of guys because I have a guy that is fighting, just to spar with him. Then, yeah, these guys go out there and work out with the guys. So sometimes he came here.
yeah, and see, that's the perfect thing with cross training. Now you're all seeing it. Like, let's say Jay's never cross trained anywhere, and he gets a guy from a different gym coming into cross train with you, and this guy does something. Whoa, you know. So it gives him a chance to learn.
You just gotta be careful.
Yeah, I'm real big on systems though. I'm not the type of person, like I won't go to and never really have been, because, well, one, I've been fortunate to have just amazing coaches to where they've had, it seems like, the answer to every single thing, right? So I've never been the type to go to YouTube and be like, oh, I'm gonna learn how they do this, because maybe they show you how to do a move, but you don't know how to get to that move or what to do after with it or use it in multiple ways. You know, it's only this, and that's all you get from it. And so if you get stuck on trying to, you know, pull that off, I mean, it could get you in a lot of trouble. So I've always been the type of person where, you know, like, I want to know how to do it multiple ways. I want to know how to get out of it. If I get stuck in it, and however I get stuck in it, I want to know the answers or the solution to it. So I've always been big on systems, but I know there's people who just bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce as far as like training goes, and I mean they do okay.
Yeah, no, and what you just said makes a lot of sense too, because I have a guy, 3 guys at my gym that all they do is sit there on, oh, I saw this on YouTube. I saw this on YouTube. I saw this on YouTube or TikTok, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, that's cool, you know, which is cool. They got some badass moves.
For sure.
I mean, I've seen some shit on there that I'm like, wow, I wouldn't even try it. because I wouldn't even know how to begin. Like you said, you don't know how to get to that position. You don't know how to get out of it. All you know is if somebody's not doing anything against you, you can land it. That's all you know from YouTube.
Yeah, my thing now, it's becoming real popular, is like ankle locks, heel hooks, toe holds, like people just grabbing stuff and rolling. Like, dude, your leg is gonna get ripped off before you take theirs because you only seen the move. You don't know how to get there. You don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to transition from one move to the next.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Is like, don't ever leg lock me. I'll cry like a little girl and I'll walk out.
And you got little legs.
What's that?
I said, and you got little legs.
Little legs. Oh yeah. I'd be like, I'll cry. No, I hate leg locks. I've had ankle problems, knee problems, toe problems, shin problems. What else? Thigh problem. No, no, I don't mess with leg locks at all. But watching one of your guys yesterday, he was badass. He went up for a knee bar out of nowhere. Wrestler guy, he had wrestling shoes on, tan shirt.
Oh, Jaime probably. And he's brand new in leg locks.
Oh man, yeah, this kid was just wow.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So
No, we do a lot of leg locks.
well, I could tell because a lot of times when you guys were rolling yesterday, that's what most people were going for. I'm like, oh, don't you guys tap each other out? Oh, we said tap, 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 tap. So yeah. Yeah, no, it was badass. I mean, watching and see when you watch a system like that, like your system, and you see things progressing, things working, it's actually a good system. It's like a great system. You like, wow, I could learn that. You know, so it's inspiring to watch some of your guys pro. Like I thought, if I had half the guys you guys have with the skill that you guys have, it's like, wow.
No, it's good because and in every class we ask, hey, do you have any questions, anything, before we even start the class after the warm up, because a lot of times we teach a move and then we don't teach the move for I don't know 6 months or stuff like that, and it's new people, and then we gotta go over the kind of stuff again just to get everybody at the same level. But leg locks have been one of my favorite things because right now I think Jay mentioned it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is incorporating leg locks a lot, and you see it in all the tournaments. We have been doing that forever, and sometimes guys come and say, Coach, you got to see this leg lock. I say, yeah, we taught that one last week. Then things like that, then we try to, like Jay say, it's try to cover everything about, fighting, stand up, wrestling. We have good coaches in everything. And, we got Coach Charlie, he's a great wrestler. Coach Art is a third-degree black belt in judo. Jay have been teaching
since 2006.
Since 2006.
Yeah, see, if I had the family you guys have, I probably would have stayed in one gym, because like you said, you've been blessed.
Not everybody's fortunate.
Yeah, you've been blessed to have.
I just walked in.
Dude.
Yeah, you've been blessed to have the right coaches at the right time, helping you through whatever you needed, and I'm sure had I had that, one, my career would probably be in a different situation right now, and two, I probably wouldn't have had to go anywhere, I enjoy traveling and I don't mind going to gyms, but it wouldn't have been for months at a time just so I could learn basic things.
One of the things that I always tell the guys that are opening gyms is like, find people, loyal people for your gym, and just build it. Because I have guys here, like, this kid, done one thing. We got here. He came here because they are related. They didn't know, and he came looking for Jay, and then he stayed here. And you see how good this kid is. Like,
oh, Danny's amazing.
And then we have Mike Sanders. Then he came and he started training when he was 15 or 16. And when Jay came to the gym, he was already very decent in stand up. And for how long do you train ground before you came?
Just a couple of sessions, not any time, just sessions.
But after 15, 16 years working out, maybe even more, working out together, it's we have everything that we have, we made it here. You know, it's good to see that. It's good to see a kid developing from nothing to being, you know, Francisco. You know, Francisco, you saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
He's really good. Now, with a group of guys like that, you know, you got to go work out every day. You got a good class every day, and
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm trying to do with my gym. I'm trying to develop it the way you guys have yours, to where my students teach their classes, you know, to where we become a family. And you saw when we came down here, we come deep, you know, we
it
bring
was
everybody.
really cool. It was really
We all
cool.
stayed in an Airbnb. Everybody had a good time, you know. So no, I'm trying to build that in my gym to where it's a family style gym, you know. When you walk in your door, you have your wife right there.
The other guy's wife
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say that, but no, and what it is they greet you,
Mhm.
and the minute you walk in, it's a smile, and you're like, oh, that's cool, you know. And they talk to you, whatever, you know, and then you walk in, and everybody's joking around, and I love that. I've gone to gyms where everybody says 100% serious, 100% trying to kill somebody, trying to hurt somebody. Their ego gets in the way. Oh, I don't want to get tapped out. I don't care if I get tapped out. I don't care if I get kneed in the, well, I do care. But, you know, I mean, it's going to happen. And if you fight or if you compete, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get tapped out. If you're not getting tapped out by somebody, that means you're not reaching your top caliber competition. That means you're stale and you're in one spot and you're comfortable there, which hey, that's fine with comfort.
Yeah, what do they say? You don't want to be the big fish in the pond?
Yeah, you never want to be the best fighter in your gym ever.
You know, then we have another kid too, Justin. He came here when he was like around 16 too. He's a good black belt. He's this skinny kid, and you see him at the gym, you say, "I'm gonna walk through this kid." And he's like, man.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. Last time I was here, actually, he was here a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he's getting married now.
He just got married last week, but it's crazy. Then everything is just like you say, like a family.
Yeah, no, yeah, no.
I mean, that's I don't see why you'd want to build anything not like a
Different,
family,
yeah.
you know, because one, like if you got to have teamwork, you know, you want that trust. You want to know that the people have your back. You want to know that, you know, everything's going to be good if you're not good.
Right.
You know, like that's how family's supposed to be. So.
Right, you know, like I've been here for a few days now, you know, and I'm here for a couple more. But in my gym, I have a guy. I have two guys right now that are showing classes, teaching classes, doing what they have to do. You know what I'm saying? James Holman, he teaches the kids classes. He's with kids, he is fucking phenomenal. I don't know where he gets the patience from. Because some of these kids, I mean, you know, gotta throat punch them. You know what I'm saying? Teach them. But no, he's phenomenal with the kids. Then I have Robert Lewis, who's a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. He helps me out tremendously. Tim McKenzie, he's a Gracie Baja black belt. He's like my best friend now. Him and I have became close friends.
That's great.
He helps me out a lot with my gym, with the decisions I have to make. He promotes us. He takes care of us. The only thing is he's in Idaho. And that's my biggest down. Either I got to travel to Idaho or he's got to travel down here, you know. And just like I was telling you earlier today, it's like flying everywhere, going everywhere. It takes a toll on you, you know. I wish he'd move into the town where I live, but you can't wish that on a man when he's got a job and kids and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Then I've asked you guys to come up there, you know. So to me, between you guys and Tim, there's just, now I'm in a spot where I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to go looking for somebody to teach me. I found you guys, you know. I got you and I got him, and like I said, I wanted you guys to come up to meet him last time, but you guys couldn't, whatever, not a big deal. But if I'd have had you guys and him in 2000, and we'll even call it 2015,
Yeah.
you know, it would have been different. You know, my life would have, I'm not saying my life, but my career would have gone in a different direction, you know. but no matter what, I think I'd still be fighting.
For sure. No, and it's never too late because when we were there teaching the not long ago, you can see that all the kids are excited to learn. All the kids were, and the grown ups too. But seeing that is good because it's not a big city, per se, and you got people there, a lot of.
Yeah.
Then having that is good. Like building a family environment is different because you gotta be the role model. And if you are not there all the time and you don't know what is happening when you're not there and stuff like that, it's a little bit hard. But people look up to you when they come to the gym. Like you talk about when people walk inside this place, everybody is just like a big family. Everybody just joke and everybody just um, have that good vibe when they walk in here. I love that. I love to see the guys having a good relationship with the students. I have a good relationship with everybody. Dude, I just I love this. I love what we do. I love a fighting system because it's we made that. You know what I mean. It's nothing. We don't copy this from anybody. We made whatever you see here. We made it. God did it for us. But having the right people around you is the best thing. These guys they are like brothers and sisters, the coaches.
Yeah.
They have a great relationship. You never see one coach fighting with the other one. I will never let that happen because it makes no sense. But these guys have it's like a family, honestly. And that's what really helped us a lot. This gym is even having the police here, having the SWAT here. One of the things that make us real is that then you come any day of the week here and you see law enforcement working out with us and having the relationship that we have with the police. And you come some Thursdays here in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, you see 40 guys from the SWAT working out here with us. Then if they trust us with what we have, that means a lot to me.
Yeah, and they're like family too.
Yeah.
They come and hang out, talk, train, beat each other up, talk smack about each other, fat jokes for days, all that. So,
And that's what it is. You guys, like I said, and I'm gonna single you out. You built it all as long as you had to until you had Jay and Danny and all these other guys. Once you got them, then now they start helping you build everything. So it's something that you all did as a family, like you said. But I'm sure at one point you were like me. You were by yourself trying to start it off, and right now like I have a couple back in my gym who are there for James Holman teaches all the kid classes. Danny just stepped up and started teaching some of the adult classes while I've been here. Cole, who's a Gracie Baja blue belt, he helps me out with the jiu-jitsu when I'm not there. So like I said, if I'd have had you guys in 2015 or if I'd have met you guys back then, it'd have been different. I mean, by now I'd have had my gym up there anyway, so it would have been different. It'd have been nice. But like I said, I just appreciate you guys for everything and welcoming me in. I remember
we are going to make you gym as big as this one or bigger.
and I think with people stepping up, one, it's going to be their love for the sport, but it's also going to be how you invest in them too, like how much you invest, because people know, dude, he really wasn't my coach, but I've worked with coaches where like you're in class and they're just texting the whole time. It's fun to be there at first, but after it happens a bunch of times, then you're like, I don't want this. Right. So if you're a good coach to them when you're gone, they're gonna mirror you when you're gone. So as long as you just keep doing a good job with, preparing your lessons, or your curriculum to how you're treating them when they're on the mat, because you'll get people who don't comprehend how to pick their hips up while their head and their feet are on the ground.
or what roll slowly means.
Yeah, right. And you can't degrade that person because they don't know. Because some people are just nerds and read books their whole lives, or just not familiar with this type of movement. So you can't be like, "Hey, are you stupid?" Yeah. Later on, when they're your friends, you can tell them that. But till then, it's like, you gotta show them, you gotta help them, and then that all bleeds over.
Yeah, I have a couple of guys right now. I got one guy who's right under 400 pounds, probably 365 right now.
The big guy, then was
Yes, Jesse.
that guy is massive.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But he's every day he pushes himself to learn. I mean, to a point where it's like, hey coach, hey, the coach left. Yeah. So no, he's really, you can tell that he wants to develop himself and he wants to be a competitor. He wants that in his blood, Then we have that other kid who just hurt me. His name's Jesus. But he's young. And I guarantee you, once he learns how to control his speed and his momentum, there's going to be no stopping him. This kid is a future champ. I'm telling you, his wrestling is phenomenal. His energy is phenomenal. He just needs to control both of them and make them both into one. Yeah. And once he learns the technique slowly, it's like you were saying earlier about YouTube. Okay, now you got there. What are you going to do with it? That's him right now. And since he doesn't know, he spazzes out and goes for something else instead of finishing what he started off with. But yeah, no, man, I'm like excited. I'm loving my life. I'm loving being here. I mean, I leave my house to come here,
No, it's good. I'm glad you're here because people need to know that, you can network with other gyms, but you got to be careful with that. Be careful who you do it with because sometimes
they'll use you as a dummy.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'll use you as a dummy.
I always tell the guys, we have a good thing going on. Just be careful when you go to another guy. Just go because and make sure that we know who they are. Because I have bad experience with some, with kids that go into another academies and stuff like that. That's why, for me, there's very few people that I can say, okay, let's go and work out with these guys. Because to protect people, protect you.
When I went to the lab in Arizona, I kind of felt like that because at first, you know me, I'm always healthy. So I come in, this little chubby guy, don't know nothing, and they put me with the white belts and the blue belts, and I was tapping most of them out. And instead of letting me roll with the purple belts or the brown belts, they straight up put like 3 different black belts on me. And they hurt me. Hurt me. It wasn't like they were tapping me out every 12 seconds. It wasn't even fun anymore. With the white belts, I think I go a little slower than I should. Blue belts, I try. Purple belt, I love purple belts. I love rolling purple belts. Because they're right at that middle level where you could get them, but then you probably can't because once they start developing and getting into their few years as purple belts, they're just badasses.
I tell people that as a coach, you should be able to roll with a white belt as a white belt. You should be able to roll with a blue belt as a blue belt. You should control everything. And, it will be a moment where you got to roll like a black belt and roll with, you know what I mean? But like you said, there's no fun for you to roll with a black belt and they just choking the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And I never did that. I get beat up more by the blue belts than by the black belts.
Yeah, and the white belts.
And the white belts. Seriously, because when I roll with them, I want to make them feel like,
like they're progressing,
let them
learning.
Yeah, let them work. You gotta let them work. You can't just go there, smother them, and then choke them.
Yeah,
and
I tell people that you gotta be very careful. You gotta be very wise when you roll with your students because sometimes they don't know how to control what they do,
right?
And then people get hurt. And then most of the injuries that I have is with white belts. I never got hurt with a purple or
Yeah,
brown or black belt. I always
yeah,
got
me
hurt.
neither. I've only been hurt by white belts.
And then
So,
because you just try to, it's a white belt. It's not
well, like the other day when I was rolling with you, I mean, he was calm. I mean, he was tired as hell, which was good, you know. Yeah, but no, he was calm, and I was like, well, I didn't expect that. I figured he'd try to come. He called me the Amazon purple belt. What'd you call me? Yeah, so I figured he'd try to come prove a point.
Really?
That's what I thought. No, I really thought he was gonna come try to prove a point, and he didn't. I was like, damn, this is cool. I like it. So now, like today, I'm like, hey, we training? So I look forward to it today. He ain't training now.
Yeah.
So,
But you here we don't. Jay joked with everybody. Danny too, and we I don't know why he said that, but look, we were
Because last time we saw he had a blue belt, so I was teasing him like, "Oh, you buy your belt on Amazon?"
Yeah. I'll give you my account. What you want? What you want? I got it on direct deposit, bro.
No, but it's good, and we talk about that a few times. But you it's good that you're a purple belt now because.
Oh, I still have a lot to learn.
No, but if you have an academy, it's good to be purple belt. It's good to have a black belt behind you that can, develop you and everything. But purple belt is a good belt to have.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. Tim and I talked about it before I got it, and a lot went into me getting it. We were gonna wait, you know what I'm saying? We were honestly gonna wait, and then when I went to watch him get promoted, man, I almost cried. The love that the academy shows you, you know what I'm saying, when you get promoted, and it was phenomenal. I've never been to a promotion belt like that.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah.
Come to ours.
I was going to.
Yeah, we got May 30th.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, so, and what I mean by that is, we had already talked about me getting my purple belt, and we were talking about doing it after one of my fights.
Mhm.
And what I told him was, I'll take it whenever, I'll shoot, but the thing is, seeing how the academy reacted to him getting his black belt, the kids all come up, and it's just something I didn't want to miss.
Sure.
And, we had a promotion coming up, and it was mainly for one of my best friends, Rich Rig Maiden. He's an MMA fighter as well. It was mainly to get him and the kids to see that their achievements don't go unnoticed. That's what it was mainly for. And after I said, all right, everybody, let's line it up, and then Tim brought it out, and I cried. And then everybody around me, all them kids were there and everything. So it was an emotional
That's
moment.
very cool.
Yeah, we see a lot of dudes cry when they get their belts.
You do what?
We see a lot of dudes cry when they get their
Yeah, I don't know,
belts.
dude. I've been working for this since 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how was your brown belt? Did you tear up? I just heard you did. Like literally just now. I just heard that. No, but to me, it's like I know where I'm at, and I know how much I have to learn. I know that there's just the road for this is endless. I can say my destination is this, but I have no destination. I just want to keep traveling the road.
Keep getting better.
What I tell people is don't train to get belts. The belts will come. Train to get better. Because when you have that, I want to be a black belt, and what are you gonna do when you get there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you gonna quit?
Yeah. And then it's good to have it. It feels good and everything, but do it not to get that black belt, but to get better. And when that black belt comes, it's gonna be like really good. Feels good, but I tell the guys that I learn every day. Every day is something. The moment that you think, oh, I'm a black belt and I know everything, you just waste a whole bunch of time in your life and everything. Because to me, like you say, it's endless. Dude, every day is something special that you can learn about jiu-jitsu. Something about not jiu-jitsu, like martial arts.
Well, see, I'm gonna be honest. You shattered my dreams 2 nights ago. Because one of your guys, he was white belt, 4th stripe, whatever. I don't know if you remember. I was rolling with him, he showed me this move or this setup that came with the arm drag.
Well,
Gio. And I was like, yes. And, I'll learn from anybody. I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk out the street and do something badass. I'm like, oh. So, and I was like, yes, this kid taught me something. Oh, man, I'm going to use it. 3 minutes later, Mr. Black Belt comes and defunks it. Oh, you can't do that. If you do that, then you're going to end up like this. And if you end up like this, you're going to end up like this. So, yeah. So
No, I agree with you on the almost learn from anybody thing. I feel like if you have something good, hey, if it's successful, you can't argue with it.
Yeah, I always tell people that every mode you can set it up from different ways, and you can. I don't tell people you don't do it this way. It isn't gonna work. I want to say that. What I always do with the guys is you can do that, but that this person had the same thing that you have.
Yeah.
That this person, if you get an arm drag on me, the same way that I pulled you, you can pull me in.
And I didn't think about it because I was so happy about him
Oh,
showing me
so
that.
like broke his heart.
And when you're drilling and you're not fighting it, it just looks amazing. And I was like, wow, why didn't I think of that? But no, it was, oh, man.
Hey, like they say, there's levels to it, right?
Oh, yeah. You guys have a phenomenal school here, Coach, and I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you.
I just love coming here. It's
That's good.
like I said, we sit here, we shoot the shit, we go eat, it's just badass here. I love it here.
I like that too.
I like it so much. I want you guys to be, you already know. You're part of my gym. You're part of my life now. Even Jay, not the,
Yeah. No, we have fun that day. Those few days that we were up there.
Yeah, I look forward to talking to Jay. I'll text him. I'll text both of you, and he'll text me back in a week. You text me back in 3 weeks. So it's always
He's like, hey, Coach didn't text me back. Like, me neither.
It's one of those things, and it's hard to find that relationship with all other gym owners because people always is competing against each other, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, seriously, there's a lot of gyms here. There's a lot of coaches that we compete against each other, but even inside the cage when the guys fight and the coaches meet, and all these guys say, "Hey, coach, how you doing? How's your family? How's your gym?" We have that kind of relationship when we see each other. I'm excited to see them, and I'm glad they are doing good and stuff like that. But there's some more people that they don't want that. And for me, if you're doing good, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? Those are things that I have in my heart. Seeing a friend doing good and doing good in what you love to do. That make my day.
I agree with that 1,000,000% because in this world, people stopped building each other up. That stopped a long time ago. Now it's all about, who can do better than who. And there's gyms in the area up where I live that I've helped. I've helped put their gyms together, And it's not because I want anything from them or anything. It's because I'm trying to help the world be a better place.
For sure.
If you live your dream, you're not going to go cause ruckus on nobody. You're going to stay your lane. You're going to stay your focus. You're going to keep moving forward. I don't see you guys, calling out any other gyms or talking down about them or anything. Because you don't care. You're living your life. You're 2 steps forward, If they want to walk by your side, that's cool. If they don't, that's their problem. So.
Yeah, we haven't talked about what are we doing in next month.
Yeah, let's talk about your show, Jay. Talk to me. Let me ask you
Next
the questions.
month, April?
No, it's
May
May.
10th.
It's 2 months. We are in March. Yeah.
I was still stuck in March.
Yeah.
This year's been crazy.
Let's talk about May. What is your intention?
Well, first to put a couple of our guys on, we have Dio, Kenya, and they're fighting. I don't know where.
It's Gladiator Challenge.
Challenge. I don't know where.
It's in the high desert.
Yeah. In the high desert.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're fighting, but even to backtrack just a little bit, tomorrow we have Elijah fighting.
And I'm sticking around for that.
Yeah.
He's fighting for a belt.
Yeah, he's fighting for another belt. This dude, man, he just came on the scene and just.
This kid started training 2 years ago, dude.
Oh, that's what he told me. He's been fighting for a
maybe
year.
not
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so he did some PKBs or like some point sparring stuff. He did his first year. He did like I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 of those, and he was like, "Hey, I want to try MMA." Tried MMA for like 2, 3, I don't know, a couple months, and then goes and fights and gets an opportunity for a title, and then another title, then just ends up accumulating like 5 or 6 wins. Had a good fight his last one with someone from the Den. I forget the kid's name.
Big kid. He fought a
Yeah, Elijah's a
20
45
pounds
for us,
heavier.
and he'll fight 55. I think he fought what?
65.
Yeah, dude, he did really good.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see him do that tomorrow. And then so we'll be collecting another belt, and then we have the 3 fighting up in the high desert, which will be
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah,
So if anybody wants to come check that out, check them out, support. And then we have our organization where we do hard sparring, similar to point sparring, but instead of like, I mean, when you think point sparring, you really think like back in the karate days where people just touching each other, right?
Taekwondo.
Yeah,
And shit.
and it don't really work like that in real fight, so we let them spar a little bit harder, but they can't produce knockouts. If they knock someone out, they lose. The person that gets knocked out wins.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so
It's
you get
technique.
DQ'd. Yeah,
It's
so
technique.
it's a lot of technique, and we try to make it safe for the athletes as they're competing. We want to obviously help grow the sport, and there's going to be individuals who don't want to fight, because they work or for whatever reason they don't want to get knocked out, or they don't want to compete extra hard, but they want to get good work, hard work, and this is the place you can do it at. These kind of events, and I guess there's several places that do it. We try to be different by obviously I'm a pro fighter. Franklin's fought, he's taught, and then we have other fighters that help us out with it as well. So it's really an organization where the fighters we developed it, and
By the
we're
fighters
making
for
it.
the fighters.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I always say: by the fighters for the fighters. Because on the other side of these kind of promotions, you get people who've never fought, and it's a money grab, and that's cool because there are some really cool shows where it's a money grab for the promoter or the matchmaker. You see them out in front of the camera getting all the camera time and stuff. Like, that's cool. It's your show. You can do that. But ours is, we want the athletes to be the stars. We want it's all about the athletes. That's all I can. That's the best way I can put it. It's all about the athletes. Like, we really try to go out of our ways to have any athlete on, whoever wants to be on our show. We want them there, and the matchmaking too is fair. Like, we do our best to get these matches as even as possible. We know everybody that come to the show for the most part. We'll have other gyms and other coaches like, hey, we want to bring someone to your show that we don't know, but all right, give us your information, and we try to, we get as much information that we can about the athlete, not just, oh, has he competed, and anything, and they'll be like, for whatever reason, like maybe the kid's a wrestler and he competed for 10 years, but he's gonna compete in grappling. So we're getting that information versus like, oh, well, how long has he done jiu-jitsu? Because it's gonna make a difference when that kid's wrestled for 5 years and he's competing as a white belt against a white belt. So we try to collect all that information, keep it fair. We do get a lot of people from our gym that compete. At first I was like, man, it's gonna look silly, like it's my show and I have all my guys. But honestly, it makes sense because now my guys, they get fair matches, and not only do my guys get fair matches, and the other people that are coming to compete, they're gonna also benefit from that, because I'd rather my guys compete up. Like, if my guy's 6 months and there's another 6-month guy and there's a guy who's been training for a year, I'd rather my guy compete against that guy of the year, because that's where we're going to learn the most. So I just make sure everything's fair across the board. I try to treat all the athletes in other gyms like if they were from our gym, and I tell them like, this is our show, because without those athletes, it's nobody's show, there's no show. So I always tell them, hey, this is our show. Like, this isn't just like,
hook up all my friends. You were there. It's everybody there. All the coaches there know each other. Everybody's like, dude, everybody's just friends. It's a cool culture. And that was one of the things that was like that I wanted to change. And there's actually other organizations that have been doing that as well. But I wanted to just change the fight culture. You know, because back in the days when we started, you couldn't even walk into another gym. Like you were saying a little while ago, you know, you walk into a gym and they don't even greet you. You know, the coaches would be like, I remember when I used to do these for smokers, I went over to a gym one time. I was going to work out with them and the coach was like, what's up? What are you here for? Jeez. And I was decent and, you know, I knew how to talk and everything like that. And I was like, kind of like, wasn't expecting that, so he kind of just stumped me, and I was like, well, I want to invite you guys out to this event, you know, we're going to be hosting, and then want to see if I can work out with you. He's like, no, you can't get on my mat. We don't know you.
Really?
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference, because I think what make everything that we do different is that the experience that we have around it. You know, we have been involved not just in fighting, but you know, I have been reffing since the 90s. I ref King of the Cage and Gladiator Challenge before they were involved with the commission. Before the commission was involved with mixed martial arts, I was reffing with these guys. And then what I tell people, this event is for the fighter. Like I always talk to the fighters and say, hey, if you do what you're supposed to do, people don't even know I am here. And that's how it's supposed to go. I say, I get involved only if you do something stupid. I say, and try to win the fight. Don't make me decide who the winner is going to be, because that's not my job. I do it only if I have to. But for us, it's like we want everybody to have a good time. And we try to be so fair with everybody. Then I have been criticized with my guys. He mentioned Elijah. He had one loss in the PKB, and I was one of the judges. And I was the one decided who won. And I saw the other guy win. And my guys were like, Coach, what the heck?
His only loss in those type of tournaments.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like Jay is really good at doing matching up the fights. And sometimes we sit in the front desk for hours and just say, what do you think of this guy? Well, and we know some of them already, and this guy really tough. We can't put him with this one. So that we try to be as fair as we can with everything. And when they are here, they come and they are family to us. You know, they come and they say hi to us. They hang out with us for a little bit in the weigh-ins. The coaches are really, you know, good with us, and they know our, you know, reputation. We are not like bullies. We are not people that are just looking for the good of our gym or something like that. Everybody's treated the same.
My other thing with it is like, if we plan these right, you know, space them out good, then, you know, one of the things is like fighters, you get a lot of fighters that only train if they have something to train for. No. So I'm like, I'll try to put these every 3 to 4 months. So this way, not only does it keep my mat, you know, like consistently full, but then all the gyms around us that are going to be competing, they're going to have full mats because their guys are going to be there nonstop, right? Mm-hmm. So that in turn just, I mean, it helps that right there. So I kind of look at it as a community thing, really, for everybody. Yeah. So
I'm glad you said that about the whole. It's all about the fighters, because when my brother and I first started CFC, we were tired of watching all these like bad fights. You know, we show up to shows, and you could tell just by the way they put their gloves on who was going to fight who and who was going to win. You know, yeah. And then, but that's what we did. We just wanted to do something for the fighters, by the fighters, you know, just that way everybody understands. I've been in your shoes. I've done what you've done. I've lost. I've won. I've cried. I've celebrated, you know, and that's just something that every fighter should experience.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Maybe not so many losses as I have, but, but no, other than that, I mean, I think it's awesome. But just to throw a shout out to you real quick. I mean, I hope you come to our show. I hope you do good. I mean, you're one of us now, so when you come fight. What date? June 14th?
June 14th or 13th?
14th.
Oh, dude, I got a family reunion on the 14th.
Oh, that's all right. They'll be there.
Oh, yeah, June
They'll be
14th.
selling chiclets. No, that'd be bad. I mean, you and Danny, I look forward to watching both of you fight. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I thoroughly enjoyed the journey. Like the last week of fight camp is like the worst for me always. That's the week I hate. I think I probably had 2 where they were like, it's not too bad. But I hate the whole emotion of like, I gotta go see this guy at weigh-ins.
Yeah.
They're always buffer than me.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I'd be like, man, this guy's got a 6-pack.
Yeah, I remember
Or
those days.
this guy trains with this guy. And then eventually I was like, oh, man, that stuff don't matter. But just weigh-ins, and then, man, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, every opponent I've ever had, just going to weigh-ins, they just stuck on your mind. And then you see them, and then they really just live in your head for the next 24 hours.
Yeah,
rent-free. Everything, everything. And I play out every scenario, good and bad. The bad ones are always like, hey, what happened if I call coach and tell him I got a fever right now?
Yeah.
Dude, in the middle of the night, I'll never do that, but it goes through my head like, dude, you don't have to go. You can just
No, exactly what you're saying.
And then when it becomes enjoyable, as getting to wake up the next day and you're rehydrated. Typically, what I'll do is I'll come and like watch the guys work out, and then maybe even like shadow box or something. Franklin tries to not have us do anything, but maybe even like shadow box and then drive up with the dudes, and that's always fun. It's been from driving up with the dudes like Steven, Richard, Tom Pagano. They're all my retired fighter friends now, and now it's driving up with like Danny, Elijah, and it's such a contrast between those 2 groups, being the youngest in one and then being the oldest in the next one. But every time, regardless of what group it's been, like when you get with your team, or even if it's just one other person going up, like you're talking about it, and it's just like, oh yeah, that was a good camp. Even though you're all beat up and hurt, you're like, yeah, that was a good camp. And then, your training partner or coach is like, dude, you just got to go out there and make sure you do whatever, and you'll be good. And it's always worked out like that for us. Even in losses, like, I mean, I've had hard fights where, both of us got beat up and it was fun. But, dude, it was just, good fights. And, man, it goes away though. All those nerves, everything just go away. Especially when you're in the back and it's go time. Man, it's like, yeah, finally here. This is what you live for. And then the walkout, dude. The walkout's crazy. I get a little nervous on the walkout again too. It's weird because every time I have to walk out right when they're like, hey, we're gonna stage you, I'm like, oh, I gotta go pee. I maybe just went pee 2 minutes ago and didn't have no water, but I gotta go again. Yeah. And then, the walkout, dude, it's a crazy emotion. Like I tell everybody, you have to experience it one time, because you do it once, you're going to learn how to deal with pressure, that mental fortitude you develop, just learning how far, how long, how fast you can go when you have no concept of it. Like other sports don't really present that to you, or other situations in life really don't present that to you. And when you go and do it, dude, like I get excited talking about it or thinking about someone getting to do it. It's cool. And then, dude, the walkout, everything goes away. And then you're in the cage and you're like, I remember thinking a couple times, like, damn, I'm here again.
One of the things about tough fights, those are the fights that you remember the most and you enjoy the most. When you go and Jay just had a year ago or something like that, 2 years ago. And dude, what a tough fight that was. And at the end of that fight, I was so satisfied with the fight because Jay fought a tough guy, and they both beat each other up. And it was a draw, actually. It was an amazing fight, and seeing that is good, because I know that's one of the fights that you enjoyed the most, because that freaking guy was up, and other than
it's nice to be tested though. That's what you want. Sure. You want the one where like you got to be strategic in there on every aspect. You can't. I mean, like if you're backing up, there's a reason you're backing up. Not just I'm gonna play with this guy, or when you're going forward, you gotta mind your P's and Q's, dude. Yeah. Like those are the fun ones. And then what I like about, I mean, martial arts is just, you're nonstop learning, but those are the biggest times you learn, because you have all that pressure and everything you go and practice in the gym is being put to the test. It's either going to be put to a little test if you have, someone who's okay, or, some collegiate level test when you got some other guy who knows what they're doing in there.
Then for me, it's like I have been doing this for a while, and I start from, like Jay said, from training with kids like Joe Stevenson, Jason Lambert, Bobby Hutman, even work with Baz when he was getting ready for Tudoki Kasaka, for Kevin Randleman, with those guys. And then Richard Said and those guys came, and it was about that time is when Jay came into the picture, and he is now, he go from having these guys already developed and fighting and everything and working with them to be one of the, pretty much mentors to the new guys, and in a way, apart from being a coach, because being a coach, I don't think it's that hard. Being a coach to new kids, then they want to do good and everything. You got to be more than a coach to them, because they really respect you more than sometimes even the parents. It's crazy to think that, but these kids know that they got to trust you when they get in the cage, because if they are fighting and we walk in there and say, hey, dude, you got to do this and that, is it the only way that we can do good? Because you got to trust that person that he sees something that you can't see.
He's gonna make the right calls for you.
Then it's so great, because now it's good to see that part, because those other guys, that's the past. Now we are in the present, and when somebody was a few years ago helping him doing what he loved to do, now he's doing that to the next generation, and I have been a witness of all this stuff from the late 90s to today. And it's good. It's good, because hopefully this ball keep rolling,
Yeah. And hopefully it just gets better and better. Because that's what you want. Like I want my dudes, man, stupid dang sparring rounds I've been doing with Carlos. So this kid's been here like 7-8 months, but he's probably accumulated enough classes for like 2.5 years. And obviously I'm not in shape, but he's been working out with the fighters. So I went to do a round with him. It was our warm-up round. This boy was mopping me up. I was like, dude, what the hell? Stop it.
You want to hear something funny? He's training with Adrian. And Adrian he saw him, and Adrian started beating him up. Like Adrian beating Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
But Carlos keep on going. And Adrian is hitting him, and Carlos is just going in and throwing punches and everything. And I see Adrian getting a little bit tired. And last thing I hear Adrian telling him, hey, stop coming.
Yeah.
Because this kid is good. Like Jay said, he have been here for 7-8 months. He have more classes than a guy that have been here for 3 years. That kid came in mornings and afternoons sometimes. And it's so good to see that.
And he's doing 2 in the evening. Yeah. So, but I had to get him back. So I had to play him a little bit, play a little psychological game with him. So after I was telling him in class, like, Carlos, really good job. But the next time we spar, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna have everybody spar you first, so you're tired when I get you.
Yeah, dude.
So we're sparring. This is maybe like a week ago. So we're sparring, and then he's the only person left on the mat that I didn't spar with. I was like, time. He's like, what? We're not going to spar? It's like, dude, we got to go home. He's like, oh, man, that's messed up. So then we had another week, and I was like, nah, Carlos, we're not going to spar. But I sparred him on Tuesday, and he still let me out. But now that, I got a little wind up, it was better. He got me with two really good body kicks. I'm like, man, he probably had dropped other people. And then also, too, we were probably going just a little bit heavier in class, than the rest of the class. But it's really fun to watch, those people develop. Now, the fun thing about Carlos is, again, his determination, how much he wants to learn. He's a good question asker. What I really like watching with his progress, though, aside from those, is he's out there, dude. He's out there, like he's with his buddy Dio. Dio's this other tall kid we have. He's 620. No, he's a 6'4", and he's just long, dude. He hits you from like 2 miles away, So that's one of Carlos. Carlos wants to, be like Dio, kind of in a way. Carlos just here. Carlos, when he first came, I remember thinking, I had him. We were doing some line drills, and I had him. Just get in his stance and kept messing it up. And I was like, is this kid joking with me right now? And it was him, just trying to figure out his balance, his hands and stuff. And I'll put him there and I'll come back and it's way off. And I'm like, dude, this guy is playing with me. But, he's worked it out. And, man, he's a really good athlete now. I can't wait to see him fight again. And that's one of the aspects I really enjoy, though, about coaching is, you get these people who have zero athletic ability. And you get to help them develop and learn it, and it makes them new people,
Yeah, I have a guy like that. His name is Jeremiah. He fought on your show. Tall, skinny guy.
Blonde? Dirty brown?
Dirty blonde, yeah. He won. The one that you saw in the video that I was all excited about.
Yeah.
That kid didn't even talk to anybody. He used to come into the gym with his head down, sit in a corner by himself, kind of mope around the mats a little bit. And then must have gotten his heart or his soul or something. Because, dude, I love watching that kid train now. It's great. Just that feeling when you sit back and you watch him and you see what he's done. And he came out here and competed and won. And 4 months before that, he wouldn't have even showed up.
Talk to anybody.
Yeah, he'd have been like one of those, hey, coach, I have a fever, But no, and then he's got his family support. His dad does it, Danny. He helped me out. His sister does it. His baby sister does it. So the other day, it's been about 3-4 months now. Danny took a picture with me and his kids, and it was special.
That's great.
It's special as hell. So you're developing your new coaches. You're developing your new fighters. You're developing something. It's just, I know I'm not you're going to be in the sport a lot longer than I am probably because you're younger, I think. Right? You're in your 40s, right? 40? 38? How old are you?
Close. 37.
Oh, 37. Yeah, so you still got 15, 20 years left in you.
Probably another, 40 years.
There you go. I probably got 6, And I'm being realistic with myself. 15 years ago, I told myself I was done fighting. Here I am, But no, I think that, like I said, how it feels to watch those kids come from nothing and become something. And that's what builds you. That's what drives you. That's what gives you the reputation and the respect that you deserve, by what you have done to help other people. And I'm sure that none of you did this for your own benefit. Granted, there is money in the business and, we live off the business, but that was not the driving force behind the initial, let's do this.
It's just the heart.
It's the heart, the love that you.
Heart, yeah.
And if you're a real fighter, and I'm not saying everybody ain't, but if you're a real fighter and you're a real mixed martial artist, we'll call it, then you want to develop and pass it on and keep progressing with it.
Yeah, pay it forward. Honestly, that's how I feel. Is everybody's not going to pay it forward, but you're going to get those people who will, and those are the ones. And when they do it, it's not just to one person. It's to a big group. All the people you've taught. People I've got to teach, and then all the people we have coming up to teach. The nice thing is, what I kind of see though is, at least I push it, and that was another thing to bring up about Carlos was, man, I want these dudes all to be better than me. That's my goal. Is you got to be a better coach. You got to be a better athlete. Everything that we do, you got to be better.
Yeah,
you got to be. No,
you're right, and that's something I don't think people understand. I think people think we're being sarcastic. Like when I'm training somebody, I said, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be 5 times better than me. Because if you're like me, you're going to affect a handful of people. If you're better than me, you're going to affect a ton of people. and that's my goal, is to affect as many people as possible. And I can't do it by being one solid way to where I'm at. I can't do it by being stale. So if my students progress above me, that's my goal. That's my accomplishment. Yeah, I had 285 people doing cardio kickboxing in my gym. Oh, okay, and what's going on with that? Crickets. Oh, I had these 3 kids, and now look at this one. He's teaching kids here. He's teaching here. He's helping here. Now we're all making a difference, and that's what I like.
Yeah, for me, it's like like Jay said, it's good to see these new guys. Like, then how you have something to do with Carlos being as good as he is, because you can see it, you enjoy seeing it, and when this kid became like better than you, is when you say, "Wow, we did a good job with this guy. We really we are in the right track," and I think that is one of the best thing that happened to me. If you want a gym to be rich, you are in the wrong business.
Yep.
If you want a gym to make a difference, that is good, because I tell people there's 2 things that I think I can say that help us a lot. Well, the number one is I'm a Christian, and I believe that God wants me here, and I believe that everything that happens here because of that. And the other one is, having the right people around you, and believing in what you do. I'm telling you, there have been moments when people say, "Yeah, coach, but what if I do this when you're doing that?" I say, "Hey, let's try it." Like, it's nothing wrong with questioning something like that. But and then when they come and they get stuck, and then they believe what they're doing. But we have something so good that we have kids here, like, I'm not kidding you, 10, 11 years old, then they are at the purple belt, brown belt level if they were not doing. And these are kids. I'm telling you, you tell them, okay, north, south. Oh, they go north, south. I'm triangle. Okay, you got a triangle, you got a number, it's mount. Everything, and you just call it and they go for it. And they are just kids. Imagine if we had that opportunity to start when you were 7 or 8 or 9 years old. The world would be different today. And that's what is good for me. That is the best thing that happens in my life. Seeing these guys, I seen Jay going from what age were you count? Where were you?
I think 22.
From being a 22-year-old coach, to I enjoy seeing him doing. I see little Danny teaching classes. I see Mike Sanders, Charlie, and Danny, and all the guys that I can sit in the class and take the class that they are teaching, and I enjoy it. And that is the best part of my day. The best part of my day is just walking sometimes in the gym and just looking at these guys teaching. I already did it for a long, long time. I still doing it, but if I can get out there and just see these guys explaining everything that they're doing, the way that they do it, and everything, it's really great, because it's we've developed it. We can say, like, right now, if nothing else happened from now on, we can say, hey, we did it, and we did it right. This is really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we have something really special going on. It's gonna get so much better. But if this is so what we have, dude, this is amazing. Having what we have right now, you're here now.
Oh yeah.
And I think we are in the right path, and
Definitely the
helping
right
each
path.
other and believing that what we're doing is good is the number one thing. I don't know. You guys have something more than you, because you have been here for.
I'm sure we do, but
Okay, yeah.
Real quick,
Uh,
get your shout out for your fight when you're fighting. Who you fighting? You don't know.
you. What is it? May? No, June 13th.
14th. Bro, you're gonna show up for the wrong fight. I think we need to sign a contract. If you don't show up, you owe us money. June
14th, and
what are you doing to get ready?
getting beat up right now. What am I doing to get ready? Well, a lot of training, a lot of getting my body right, and my mentality is like for fighting. It's pretty simple. You gotta grind. So it's already there. My body's beat up. This was my first. Well, last week I did some rolling, but this was my first week where I really got to roll a little bit harder, and then did multiple classes in a day. It was maybe like 2 last week, and then this one is about 3. Went on some runs. So preparation is all about being here.
Some runs? What, a beer run?
Yeah, then you know who you're fighting or no?
No, we don't. We're waiting on information. I'm hoping to have him fight a guy out of Tracy. One of my coaches, Robert Lewis, hit me up and said, "Hey, I have a 165er."
Okay.
So I don't know much about him. I will know whatever we need to know, whether it be a good match or not here this week, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching you. I think I've watched you once or twice, I think. Back to while I was fighting through Gladiator Challenge. I mean, that's actually where you and I met, the Gladiator Challenge. So, and I remember when I showed up here, "What are you doing here? Why didn't you tell me you were coming?" Like, bro, I told you like 3 months ago, you still didn't answer back. So, no, but
oh, this is great.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna do great. I look forward to you doing great, to be honest.
Where is it? Black Oak?
Black Oak Casino in Tuolumne, California. We're also running a 4-man heavyweight Grand Prix. So then the second show, they'll fight for the 2 winners will fight for the belt.
Oh,
That's
cool.
great.
And I kind of want to put, I want to do that for all the weight classes. Go straight down. Like the first one will be heavyweight, then light heavyweight, then middleweight, all the way down.
You should do it like I'm not telling you how to do things like 2 weight classes in the same show.
Yeah.
a big
one,
guys
little
and
one.
one little ones.
No, I was thinking about that. I was thinking actually about that for this fight. And if it is, it'll probably be the 135ers.
Okay, that's good.
So, but that's what I was thinking, having 4 fighters, and having them run to the next show, main event, co-main event for belts, and then during that show, have 2 more Grand Prix for, like I said, light heavyweight and
Yes.
The next
145ers,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because just with those 4 fights, you got an event. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and the thing is, they've already fought one, so they've already earned that spot. We came here with a purpose, and this is where we're going to reach the purpose. It's not like just finding somebody who's been fighting and say, "Hey, you want to come take a title shot?" So I think it'll work out really well. Like you said, 2 weight classes sounds great. It's a possibility for us right now, not a guarantee. But I was gonna. Well, I already actually kind of told Danny. Let me think about that. I might do that. So because it would be Danny's weight class. It'd be the 135ers. We have Chris Chavez. We have Danny Martinez, and then we'll find 2 other 135ers that want to fight. Not 2 135ers that are 55 years old trying to survive. So we'll find 2. We'll try to make it as competitive as possible. Keep everybody to a point where you walk in, I walk in. If anybody's betting on us, the only people that would have a higher bet or lower bet are people who know us personally. Yeah. Everybody who doesn't know us, damn, they're about even. It's a pick'em fight. So that's my goal. June 14th.
The people that don't have a chance to go there, can they?
It's going to be on pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we are running a pay-per-view. We signed a contract 3 weeks ago with a pay-per-view company out of Florida. But the casino where we're at, Black Oak Casino, they're very, very good to us. They're actually going to be filming the fight and passing it on to the production company, and then it'll come on. So the weigh-ins, they're going to be videotaping that. The way it'll work is the pay-per-view will start at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. The first hour will be of all the weigh-ins, all the fighter interviews, things of that sort. That's the first hour. And that'll be pre-recorded from the night before and then once we go on, then the whole show will be on. We're hopefully running 2 to 3 hours on pay-per-view. So we'll definitely have the amateurs and the pros fight on pay-per-view.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
That's good. That's cool.
but yeah, I mean that's our show, and then we're gonna, like I said, our next show after that will be it'll be the 5th or the 6th of September. I'm not sure which one. It's a Saturday is, but it's one of those 2 days, and that's when our next show is going to be, and that's when we'll have the heavyweight belt up and the probably 135er belt up
That's
as
good.
well.
And we were talking about doing something down here too.
Yes, no, our name is California Fighting Championship, and we came up with that name because we want to be California's voice. You have A1 Combat with Uriah Faber, you got Gladiator Challenge, you got Pure Combat, right? But none of them really say, let's bring the best from Southern California to fight for Northern California or fight against Northern California to see who the best in California is. Like Gladiator Challenge. Oh, this is the Gladiator Challenge. Okay, well, we'll take his champion and Pure Combat's champion. Now we got California's champion.
Yeah. That's a great
that's
idea.
good.
And once we start developing our program and our promotion, I believe that should happen. I mean, we're putting a platform for every fighter that wants to show that they're the best to come be the best, and with a name like California Fighting Championship, I think it's more than a basic name with a certain,
Legit.
yeah, it'd be more legit. It'd be like, hey, yeah, no, this is the CFC belt, this is the California belt, I fought and I won the Gladiator Challenge belt, Then I came and I destroyed the guy that had this other belt, and I became the man.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then that will develop the fighters, not only in our areas, because most shows are locally centralized, like I'm fighting for Pure Combat. I'm sure 80% of the people that will hear your podcast don't know who Pure Combat is.
Yeah.
Some do, most don't. But now you're bringing the Pure Combat champ and the Gladiator champ. So now people are saying, oh, he fought for this organization. He fought for this organization. Now this is the best fighter that we could come up with.
It's good.
That's dope.
So, but it starts with you and me, with the kids that we're bringing up, with the kids that we're teaching, the kids that we're training, the kids that we're guiding and being their role models to, That's where it starts. So, and then what are you fighting at, 160?
165.
165, look at that. So, who's the best 165 in California? Is it Jay Pinto? Is it Jay Pinto? It could be.
That's good. No, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Great, Jay. Anything else, Jay?
No.
There's a lot,
Yeah,
but yeah. No, thank
Buy
you
your
for being
tickets.
here. This
Oh man, this is like,
thank
that
you
is
for being here. Yeah,
yeah, I was like, what are we doing? But no, this is great. Just sitting here talking to you guys.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
no pressure, no nothing, jump different topics,
that's good.
Cool. I heard it.
So you want my Amazon account?
Thank
I can lift